everybody, I'm Corinne Blackstone and welcome to my craft room. I'm so happy to have you here today. Before we get started, be sure that you're subscribed, that way you don't miss out on any of the fun, crafty content we have coming. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to make your own custom planters. We're going to make one design on our own, and then we're going to use a design from Cricut Design Space. I'll show you how to use things like slice and glyphs to make your own fun design to go on anything that you want. But I just thought these little planters were so cute. They were $3 for two at Target. I'll link them down below. I actually have many of these and I really like them, but this is the first time I've decorated them and I'm super happy with how it came out. You can plant all sorts of things in these, so have fun with them. They come in a bunch of different sizes too, so you don't have to get these small ones. Now, these make great gifts. They make great decor. These are great for like a housewarming gift too, so be sure that you can use them for anything that you want to. Without further ado, let's get started.
I'd run 1,000 miles if I could run with you. And from what I have heard, you do the same thing too.
Our design here in Cricut Design Space, and I'll tell you a couple different ways to do this. So the first thing we'll do is we're going to open up a text box, and the first word that I'm going to use is the word please, because this is going to say please don't die, because I'm not the best plant mom, and neither is my mother, who I'm going to give these to. So just keep that in mind. Now, I am going to also show you really quick how to download a font and also how to choose a font, because there's tons of different options, and I really want this to be a script font that has some sort of glyphs on the ends, meaning like the swashes, the little curlies, whatever that may be. So I'm going to take you to a great website to look at fonts. The sites to look at is fontbundles.net, and I'll link everything down below for you. So if you don't have a subscription or you don't want to pay for a font, they do have free fonts. And you can go and look under all free fonts. There's calligraphy fonts, handwriting fonts, free fonts for Cricut. They're all the same, basically. So I'm going to click all free fonts. And you can look through all of these fun fonts here and find one that you like. So let me look through and I'll see if I can find one that I think will work for what we want to do that might have some extra things to it. I found Christmas Shine, so I think this one might actually have some extra glyphs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on it, and it should open up the page here. And first thing you can do to look and see if it has glyphs is to click through the pictures on the side, and you can see how like there's these little extra tails. That tells me that this font probably has them. So I'm going to click through, and what I'll do is I find when it starts to show me the font, and you'll see here that it does have extra glyphs because it shows you these ones. But I really wanted them to go on both sides of the word please, and these only go one direction. So this is maybe, and because I like it, I'm going to go ahead and put it into my favorites. That way I can find it later if I decide that that's the one I do want to go with. Now there are tons and tons of fonts, like this one here, Hello Winter, looks like it probably does have quite a few glyphs included, which is pretty nice. So I'm going to go ahead and look through, and you can see here that we do have quite a few. We've got these little swirlies. So if I click over into this area that says that has 150 alternate with ligatures. Ligatures are basically glyphs. It's the same idea. And you can see here that we've got the different like little swirlies and twirlies included. So also a really pretty option, not quite what I was going for. So let me go ahead, find one that I like, and I'll show you how we download it and install it. This one, which is Mama, a lovely script font by NJ Studio. So what I want to do once I find the font that I like, I'm going to click download free now. And it's going to open up and ask me where I would like to save my font. Now, for me, I like to keep everything really organized. So I'm going to start a new folder. I'm going to click, right click and click new folder. And then I want to title my folder fonts and click open. And then I want to open the folder because that's where I'm going to save this. Go ahead and click save. And you're going to need to unzip your folder or extract it because your files are in a compressed folder. So open up the folder you just downloaded, click extract all, and then down here, click extract. It's going to open up your folder and you're going to go into the FB Mama Font folder. So from here, what I do is I delete everything that I don't want to keep. I really don't need to keep the license. I can always go back and download it if I need the license, and I can delete like the information. I don't need any of that. And I also don't need the true type font because we're going to only install the open type. To install the font, simply right click on it, and you're going to see that you've got a couple options. You see install here. Don't use that one. I want you to go to show more options, and I want you to use install for all users. What that's going to do is it's going to install it across your entire computer to allow you to use it with different programs like Illustrator, Inkscape, whatever it may be that you're going to use, that font will show up. Now, we already have Design Space open, which is a problem. So let me show you how to fix this. Now, since I only typed in the word please, I'm not going to bother saving this, but we need to close our Design Space and reopen it so that the font will show up in our font selection. Reopen Design Space first. I'm going to get rid of the grid of them, and you can do that by clicking the little square up here in the corner. Then what I'll do is I'm going to add that text again. And remember, we're going to have it say please. I'm going to go under my system fonts right here, and we can search for it, and a lot of times it'll come up pretty easily. So click on the mama design here, and look at how cute. So that's like perfect. That's really the font that I want to use. I think that'll work. I love the S, but it's fine. We're going to add some glyphs to this now. Now I am going to show you how to download the font manager that I use, because this is really important if you want to use glyphs with your fonts in Cricut Design Space. This is a font manager that I use. It's by HighLogic. It's called Main Type, and this is their newest version, so it's Main Type 12. So what you'll do is you go to download, and you're going to click Main Type. And then it just wants you to complete the form. Now you can also just skip this form and click here if you want instant access to the download. That's an option as well. I try to give them a little bit of support by signing up, just because that way, they can keep giving us a free version. What you want to do is download the 64-bit main type, which is recommended. Now, this is a Windows only option, so just keep that in mind. I'm going to save it into my downloads and click save. Once it's done downloading, you're going to open the file. Now, here you can read through your license agreement if you wish to. I'm just going to accept the agreement and click next. And then it's going to ask you where you want to install it. I just install it into my program files, which is fine. And you can choose a different folder to put it in. Again, I'm just going to let it go where it wants, but I do want it to create a desktop shortcut for it, so I'll leave it that click. Then click next, and then all you have to do is click install, and it'll do the installation for you. Here, just click finish, and it's going to launch the program. From here, you're going to get this little dialog box. You can just either tell it to show the welcome dialog every time or not. I'm just going to not let it, and click closed. Now here, you're going to see you have all of your fonts, and I like to keep them organized by my font name. I'll make this bigger. And what I can do is I'm going to scroll down, and we're going to scroll for a hot minute because we got to get to the M's. And you're going to find the Mama regular font that you downloaded. Over here on the side, you're going to scroll, and you'll see that as you scroll down, you get into these letters. And if you click on them, you can see them a little bit bigger. Now, the way that this one is, it's a little cutting it off. Now, if you want to see this right down here is what I just opened. It's the Zoom file, and I'm just going to kind of slide this over so this is a little bit bigger. But to view that, all you do is go to View, and you're going to go to Panels, and then you view the Zoom. So now when I click on these letters, you'll see, again, it's going to cut them off. It's kind of annoying. Like, this font's not fantastic with that, but you can use this right here. This is like your text size, and you can size it down. So if it's like cutting it off, like let's say it's, I don't know, let's say it's 500 and you can't see anything, just turn that zoom down to like 40, 60, something like that, and you can see which letter it is. It just makes it easier. And they'll be in alphabetical order. So like you've got R, Q, that's not an R, that might be a P. So that's O, that's P, you got Q, R, S, T, you get the idea, U, V, such, so and so forth. But you also have them that go in the opposite direction. So like we need the E for please. So in order to use this, what you're going to do is you'll right click on this. You're going to copy this to your clipboard, and then we're going to head over back to Cricut. Over here in Cricut, double click on your text and then delete the E just by hitting backspace. Then use Control V to paste that glyph letter onto your design. Now we can definitely do the P if we want to. It's up to us, up to you. Do what you want. I'm going to take a look and see if I like it. So all I have to do is go back to High Logic and then find the P, which was this one. I'm again going to copy it to the clipboard and go back to Design Space. I'm going to get rid of the original P and put the new one in. So if I hate it, if I like it, I don't know. I think it's all right. So I think we'll just go ahead and use it. And I'm going to size it down a little bit so it fits on our design much better. So I've done this. I'm going on to the second part of my design, which is going to be don't die. Whoops, I forgot the apostrophe. I can type. So we're going to do don't die. Now I want to do that in a different font. I want something a little easier to read. So I'm just going to go and click away from the mama, which I just hit the X button to get rid of my search. And then I can just pick something else. Anything that you want to use is fine. Again, I don't have a ton on here, so I could go download something if I wanted to, or I could just kind of try to find something that I like in here, which I think is what I will do. Do not make me pronounce this, but that's the font we're going to use, the Hatton something or other. So I think that'll be fine to go with our design here. So I'm going to kind of size this to where I want it. And one thing that I think I want to do is I'm going to do a little offset of the please and have it kind of cut into the don't die. So I think I might actually make this all capitals. Oops, and see how we feel about that instead. I think I like that a little bit better. So I want to do a little bit of an offset on the please, just for something different. So I'm going to get these centered. So I'm going to select both of my items, go to align and center them. And then I want to just take the please and I just want to create an offset. Now that's going to be a little bit big. So I do want to do something a little smaller. I don't want to go too small, but I just want something that's going to be a little smaller around our letters of don't die, just because I think that that's going to be a little too big. I think that might be okay. The biggest thing I'm seeing here is that's going to kind of cut off a lot of this D. Now, if you want to really get a good idea of what it's going to look like, all you can do is just go ahead and pull that down under it, and that'll kind of help you see where this is going to cut into. I think I want to go a little smaller, so let's try like 0.8 and see how we feel about that. I think 0.8 is the way to go, so I'm going to click apply. Then what I want to do is take the offset and the word don't die, and I'm going to slice them apart. Then I can just delete the little pieces of my slice result so that I get the parts that I actually want. And now I've got my little design all ready to go. Now I still don't love that P, but it's fine. It'll be okay. But I think that looks pretty cute. No, no complaints here. I'm going to select everything. I'm going to make everything black. I just prefer to see it because I am going to cut this on black on a white flower pot. Now this is obviously way too big. My flower pot's only like 8 inches in diameter. So I'm going to need to make this quite a bit smaller so that it fits onto my pot. I want to go about 3.48. So you can see this is going to be a very small design. And I did not want to take that away from there. I want to actually select everything and I'm going to attach it so everything holds in place. Now I'll zoom in a little bit just so you can see here, but it looks really tiny, but I promise you it's not as small as it looks and it'll look really good on the design itself onto our flower pot. Now I'll make it a different color just so you can see it better when I do hit make on this one. So it's, do what you want to do with it. If you have Design Space Access, you can absolutely go into their images, and I like to do the advanced search just so I can see better, and I'm going to go and just search the word plant and see what comes up. All I'm really getting here is plants, so I'm going to try looking for like plant quote. Tons to choose from. So this is just a quick way that you could get something. Now, I don't love Cricut Design Space Access, as you know, and I'll link a video that shows you how to do just about everything that you can do behind their paywall for completely free, which includes designs. But if we want just something quick, easy, this is definitely an option. So I'm going to find one that I like. I don't want to use the Please Don't Die because since we just did that one, but I kind of like this one of just add water, but not too much. So let's use that one. I'm going to add this to my canvas and then I can just click view. Now, obviously I need to size this down because that's going to be a little too big. So I do want to size it down quite a bit. And I think that's probably a decent size. The pot is about 8 inches in diameter and it's about like 7 inches tall, I think. So it's pretty big. I think I might size down just a little more, but I think that will be good. Now I'm going to cut these both just on black. So I'm going to color sync them by using color sync up here. And all I have to do is drag and drop that design under the other one. Now from here, I'm just going to check the layers on that. That's just a single layer. Perfect. So now all I'm going to do is save this, and I'm going to save this as flower pot design and click save. And then all you have to do is click make from here, and you'll see that our designs are on our vinyl mat here. Now you can cut this with any color that you want, any style vinyl that you want. Do it how you want to do it, make it how you want to make it. So I'm going to go ahead and take you over to the machine and show you how we load our vinyl, cut this out, weed it, and I'm going to show you a special way to weed since these are so delicate, this one right here. And I think it'll help you with when you're doing small designs like this that have little details. We're going to cut out our designs for our plants, and I'm going to put this on some green permanent vinyl. And go ahead and lay this on our mat. And this is a Hello Hobby standard grip mat. I'm cutting this on the vinyl setting, so we'll load this into the machine and let it cut it out.
I wanna stay forever. We could be good together. Guess mystery loves company. Better to late than never. You know we could do better. So take a chance and run with me. Everywhere we go.
Once it's done cutting, go ahead and unload, and I'm just going to kind of make sure that it looks like it cut, which it did. Slide our machine out of the way, and then I'm going to show you reverse weeding. Reverse weeding is actually a pretty simple concept. So I'm going to take some transfer tape, and I'm just going to do the small one for now, and I'm going to place this down, face down onto my transfer tape. You'll notice I didn't weed anything. I haven't touched it. I just put it on the transfer tape. I'm going to go ahead and cut out my tape. Just cut it right there. And then what you'll do, you're going to burnish this down. You don't have to burnish it too hard, just a little bit will do. And then you're going to grab the backing and the vinyl, so you can see the vinyl right here. I don't know how well it's going to focus, but I'm going to grab the big piece of the backing vinyl. And then all I'm going to do, and I'm going to do this on the table because it does work a little bit better if you do it on the table, is peel this back real slow. And can you see that this little tiny line is staying down? That little tiny line would be such a pain if I weeded it the other way. Now you do want to take your time when you're doing it this way, and you just want to go slow. Just kind of making sure that everything stays down. But this is just such an easy way to weed if you've got these really thin lines, really small details. This can really make a big difference on keeping everything in place without getting any damage to your design. So you can see that everything is staying on the tape. And I just got to get that part up. There we go. And now just pull that off. And we've got our design. Now, obviously, you still need to go in and get all the centers of the letters out, but that is just like you would do any other time. You're just going to take your pin pen or your weeding tool and pop those out. And then you can either stick them to yourself, put them in a weeding cup, whatever you got. Me, I don't like them stuck to me, so I just stick them over on the other piece of vinyl. So I'm going to go ahead and get the middles out of this, and then I'll do the other one. And we can put these on our little planters.
Paradise. All I know is that I need you in my life. Let me show you how it feels to roll the dice.
Now that we have them both weeded, I've got my little pots here. Again, these are just from Target. These are like the little self-watering ones, so you can put water in the bottom. But what I want to do is I want to make sure that that little piece is towards the back. So you're just going to kind of figure out where you want this. Now, one super handy tool is a roll of tape, because that can help hold this in place so that you don't have to worry about it like rolling around. I usually put it in at a little bit of an angle. Then all I'm going to do is put my design onto my planter here. And I just get it as even as I can. And then you're going to press it down. And I like to use my finger first when pressing this down. Now these are a little bit textured, so it may not stick as well as you want it to right away. So a lot of times what I find really helps is to take your squeegee and just gently go over any of these really thin lines or these little letters and just give it a second. And then you can go ahead and peel off your transfer tape. You'll want to go kind of slow because you want to make sure everything stays down, and you want to keep your eyes on it while you're doing it. But look at that. So easy, so cute. So let's do the other one really quickly. This one I need a piece of transfer tape because I didn't do a reverse weed with this one. It didn't need it. The letters were not that small, and you saw it weeded really, really easily. That's what was really great, is make sure you have a good quality vinyl, but also a good blade in your machine, a good cut setting, and all that's going to make a huge difference when it comes to designing and putting things on to your projects. Now, I didn't get that J down very well, but that's okay. We'll get everything peeled off here, and that didn't stick. Sometimes some of the little pieces may not always stick right away, and you can just kind of push them back down. And then you just slowly take this off. Like, I could see the M didn't stay down very well. That's okay. Again, not the end of the world. There we go. Grab this, put this to the back. And this is such a quick, easy little thing that you can do that will just add a little pizzazz if you want to gift somebody a plant. Like, this would just be such a cute little add-on for that. And then you just kind of get this all pressed on nice and neat. Now again, you're going to want to take your time here because some of these little letters may not want to stick. And you'll notice that I'm getting a little wrinkling in my transfer tape. That's okay as long as the wrinkling isn't on the letters, which it's not. So I press everything down and again, give it a good burnish, paying special close attention to those little letters down here. All right, and then we're going to peel off our transfer tape. And everything should stick really nice. Whoops, the end did not. That's okay. Again, just like with the transfer tape, you just kind of press it back down. Now, I wouldn't recommend putting a plant in this right away. I would let these sit for about 48 to 72 hours just to allow them to get that adhesive really acclimated. That way, if you get any water on them or something, they'll be good to go. I want to thank you so much for joining me for this super fun tutorial. I hope you picked up some tips and tricks on weeding small designs and also how to use glyphs with your Cricut. There's so many things that you can do, and I'll link some of my favorite glyph fonts down below for you, as well as all the products we used here in today's video. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and as always, happy crafting!